Hi everyone, I hope that you're keeping well, maintaining social distancing, putting on your mask, washing your hands and sanitizing your hands whenever you get into contacting with anybody or any item. Keeping safe is everything apart from getting motivated and going out there. One thing that I learned while I was doing sales before is that your body is your office, so you have to take good care of your body. My nuggets of wisdom today comes from what a mantra that I've always held for a long time, and it has guided me throughout my sales journey and my career path, which is if you can perceive it, then you can achieve it. In sales, you have to perceive it first. That will give you the drive to push yourself to whatever limit to actually achieve it. I'll pick up our topic of discussion from where we left. My name is Festo Imbo. From where we left on our part 2 of our topic of discussion on how to motivate a post-pandemic sales team. And we were talking about the 8 tips of motivating a post-pandemic sales team. Just to pick it up from there, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe, share and like. Leave for me a comment on the Dropbox comment section so that we can actually engage. You can also drop for me a topic that you think you might be interested for us to discuss and give you an input on any aspect of business strategy that you're thinking of. Stay tuned. Please subscribe, recommend it to all your friends. Let's share the good content together. See you soon. Welcome once again to our channel. I hope you've taken time to subscribe to the channel and given us a thumbs up so that you can actually get to this interesting part of our discussion on how to motivate a post-pandemic sales team. Now, our number 3 point was eliminate speculation with hard data. By this, you have to end the guesswork on what is working and what is not working. At some point, if you play the catch and mouse game on what is working and what is not working with your salespeople, you waste a lot of time. Eliminate this with hard facts and hard data. Look at reliable data is very difficult to find, but here are some of the examples, few examples of numbers that you can begin with by tracking them. This will help you eliminate speculations with hard data. Number 1, numbers of leads generated. Day by day, there is what is called the call logs, which can actually be generated through the number of calls that have been received in a day. On your landing page, on your websites, you can also collect a lot of data from your landing page and on your website, and use that data to actually be able to know how many leads were generated in that particular day. On the other hand, you can also look at your social media prompts and handles that are actually also generating several leads. One thing that data will actually help you is, apart from just generating leads, what is the conversion rate of the data that you've actually collected. If you can't be able to measure the conversion rate of the data that you've actually been able to collect, then collecting that data is pointless. That will show you what is working and what is not working. Otherwise, you will just be in a roller coaster of just collecting data and not converting. Number 2, you can look at the conversion rates of the leads of sales. That one you've spoken about when you're looking at the conversion data, the percentage of what's new customers and what is repeated or existing customers. When you talk of on our next topic, we can talk about customer service and customer experience. There's a big difference between customer service and customer experience. That will actually show you the difference on how then do you maintain your existing customers, and how then do you attract more new customers on board. I think that would be a good topic to discuss. So if you want to listen more about customer service and customer experience, kindly stay tuned to my channel. We'll be able to discuss that at length, and I'll give you several tips on customer service and customer experience strategies that you can actually be able to use to employ in your business and turn things around for yourself and make things much better. The revenue growth overall, when you're looking at the revenue growth overall, you can actually be able to compare the data from what you've been doing previously and currently, and match them up and check how is that, can you be able to interpret such a data in turning around your numbers. The cost of closing one sale. Cost of closing one sale is actually key and important, because when the cost is too expensive than the sale itself, then you're doing zero work. You have to employ strategies that minimize the cost of a sale. I'll give you a few strategies, like just to mention but one strategy that you can actually be able to use to reduce the cost of a sale, by transferring almost every cost of your sale to the customer indirectly. Example, by putting an arrangement fee, which has to be competitive, having done your competitor analysis on what other companies are doing with the arrangement fees or processing fee. Some other companies call it a processing fee. The other people call it a facilitation fee. Right from basic things like your forms, if you're offering a loan, your forms offering, or your application form offering. You can put the application online so that the customer can download it directly from your portal, so online. That will save you the cost of your papers, in terms of the photocopying papers that you are using to make several applications to the customers, that the customer will have to come with their several applications already printed by themselves and having made copies of the same, just like in government institutions, what they do in the various centers that they offer services to the public. That reduces the cost of any item. There are quite a lot of strategies that one can be able to use that to be able to lower the cost of sale. On this one, there are two types of strategy that can be employed. If you see that retargeting strategy is providing great results, you can shift and lay emphasis from a less effective effort strategy. And on the other hand, the flip side to it, that if sales numbers drop when you do a retargeting strategy, then it's time to abandon the associated strategy and go back to what is working. That is how you eliminate speculations with hard data. The other point is that look for opportunities to automate. Automation is everything at the current era, where you find that most of us don't even have, or we are working basically from home and looking at various opportunities on how we can be able to maximize. You can employ systems like the CRM system, the customer relationship management system, that is able to pick various data, including special data for customer service experience, like the birth dates of various customers, and give them a prompt. Tell them when their repayments are due, tell them when they need to make their next payment, tell them when their next top-up is about to be due, tell them what services you are offering, by automating most of these systems. In our call centers, you can actually use a voice recorded automating machines, whereby it can actually be able to service a customer per se, by involving them into various strategies and effort, by making them not even speak to a physical agent, if any, during these post-pandemic situations. So automation is key. This eliminate all the menial tasks that are associated with sales and allow your teams to focus on closing the deals and provide a boost to their morale. On this one, you can see how automation works in itself. When you put several machines in place to be able to reduce the task that people do. In this, you can also use them to collect several leads. Like I gave you an example of the landing page. When you automate and to give several social media handles like on WhatsApp that can actually be able to prompt several expected questions on what product or services that a customer needs. So by the time the following day comes, your salespeople have quite a lot of leads to work with, and the system has already prompted the customer and asked them specific questions that are related to your various products. So you will know what's the name of the customer, the number, and the product that the customer is interested in. The next point is that we ought to emphasize on empathize with customers. This point I belabored it earlier on, but here have an automated conversation with a customer and incorporate this reality in the approach of demonstrating empathy. Add value to them. When you empathize with them, you literally are adding value to them and talking to them at their customers' exact pain point by giving them a value proposition that they can actually be able to relate to. Remember what we spoke about, that when a person or a customer realize when value exceeds price, people give money. When value exceeds price, people give money. And when you call them, you are a salesperson, but when they call you, you are an expert. Maybe on this one, by empathizing to the customer, I can probably push for you some few points that you can actually, the do's and don'ts and the words that you ought not to use, especially when you are talking to a customer or when you're leading a customer to this kind of conversation. Number one, to be honest. Interesting. To be honest, when you tell a customer like honestly or to be honestly, it means that you are not honest in the first place. That's how somebody picks it from their mind. Like to be honest, it means that the rest of the conversation that you spoke about, you're actually not honest at all. Those words are a cliche, like to be frank, just trust me. Just trust me. Just trust me. It means sorry to bother you. Sorry to bother you. You've already interrupted in my personal space. So when you say sorry to bother you, you've already intruded on that customer space. So you better go ahead and be direct and tell that customer the value proposition that you are actually giving. On follow-up, find a better way of making those follow-ups work for you. Because when you tell a customer just to follow up, somebody already have that cliche on the back of their mind that somebody wants to sell me something. And their guards are up. Nobody wants to be sold for anything, especially during this pandemic season. They want you to get connected to them. Find out when you are making a follow-up with a customer, are you checking up on them? How constantly are you involved in their life? During their birthdays, do you even remember, if they're existing customers, that to even drop them just a birthday note that today we just want to wish you a happy birthday for being a valued loyal customer? It will cost you probably nothing to just drop just one text to a customer and make them feel appreciated, so that next time when you call them, they are not feeling like you are calling them for a sale per se, but they will feel like you are part of their customer journey experience. The topic on customer service and customer experience will be a very hot topic. Please stay tuned to my channel. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, share and like. Call a friend, tell a friend, and tell a friend to actually subscribe and join to our channel so that we can become a big group. There are quite a number of things that we can actually say. Go direct and create an impression that you want, create a lasting impression that you're actually empathizing to a customer. Replace words like contract signing with agreement signing. When people hear the word contract, they feel like they're being tied into something. But when you ask a customer like, I think we should meet up so that we can do an agreement signing, it's more involving than a contract signing. Small things that you can actually be able to do to actually make a very big difference. Break down the barriers to success. Take down any barriers by preventing yourselves that will prevent yourselves from moving forward. Take time to sit down with your team members. This must not per se mean that physical sitting. Nowadays we have quite a lot of tools that you can actually be able to use to have a sit down and one-on-one with your sales team. You can do a Zoom meeting with your sales team on a one-on-one basis. Find out what are the gaps, what are the knowledge gaps, what is it a skill-based knowledge gap, or is it a product-based knowledge gap, or is it just a difficult customer that you as their sales manager or their sales leader need to actually engage and help them be able to cap the differences in the various challenges that they face on a day-to-day basis. You have to identify that as their leader so that you can actually be able to diagnose what is actually the key problem that is affecting your customers, your sales people. This you can do through coaching. Coaching is key in sales performance management process. And in areas whereby like the performance has gone low for quite a long time, you can put somebody on what we call a performance improvement plan. A performance improvement plan is an evaluative process that it's basically geared towards helping the salesperson actually be able to achieve their optimum support by you giving the support as their leader, and not just putting your salesperson on a performance improvement plan without offering any solution how to go about it. Is it a lead generation that they have not been able to prospect enough, that they do not have enough pipeline on their funnel, their sales funnel, or is it a skill-based related issue that you can actually be able to teach and help them through in-house training, and help your salesperson to be able to pick up from this particular perspective. This you can only realize by having a one-on-one sessions with your salespeople. The other point is that celebrate your wins. Celebration of wins, both big and small. This boosts the team morale. Encourage friendly competitions. Friendly competitions is key, healthy, but start some low-stakes sales competition to keep your sales team energized. When you do these small-stake sales competitions, it keeps the team energized by introducing small but valuable incentives, like the best salesperson who would win, will probably give them, on a week basis, you probably give them a book, a sales book that will be able to help sharpen their skills, or even give them an incentive in form of airtime to boost their numbers in prospecting, or even give them transport allowances that you can actually be able to boost their morale and speed. And also, the person who will generate most leads and most leads converted in a week, you actually have to identify how to boost the morale of your teams by introducing small but key things that will actually be able to make them more interested in working through the process of sales in itself. Encourage friendly competition. Make it clear that undercutting will not be tolerated. When you introduce competition, be sure that when you're dealing with people, there'll be instances of people who will want to undercut the others. Make clear policies that undercutting will not be tolerated. In essence, in situations whereby you encourage undercutting, then you miss out on the customer experience process, because it will all be a question of getting the sale and not minding what the customer will feel. So you get so many one-off customers and very less repeated customers. And you remember, the greatest marketing tool is word of mouth. If you handle one customer badly, and the word goes out there on the street that company XYZ handles people badly, then it will go without say that your company has a bad reputation, and reputation risk is very key to every company to be able to put up their reputation risk at manageable levels. Encourage follow-ups and new prospects and pipeline development. When you encourage follow-ups, a sales process is actually an interesting one. 80% of sales require at least 5 follow-ups. Not unless they are hot leads whereby a customer is already interested and already knows your company and is already made up their mind in terms of buying in a product. But from the process of cold calling to actually make a customer buy in on the customer journey, averagely, statistically, most 80% of sales require at least 5 follow-ups. Bearing that in mind, you have to position yourself into a position of advantage and ensure that your sales team follow up on their customers. By this, be smart on setting the agenda on the next meeting on when you can do it. When you have a phone conversation with a customer, please ask the customer, when next can I call you, at what time, what time is the best time to actually make this conversation with you. That way, when you make those and diarize those specific timelines, then a customer won't feel like you're bothering them when you call them at that specific time when they had actually given you a date and an appointment to actually be able to follow up on them. For a salesperson, I will tell you that always ensure that you have a face-to-face conversation, because having a face-to-face conversation, you'll be able to conquer the objective by being reactive and not by being reactive, by not being reactive, but by taking the right action in regards to speaking to that customer's needs. On this case, you will be able to understand what the customer really wants and putting yourself into that customer's shoes. I think we've done it on the 8 tips on how to motivate a post-pandemic sales team. And on this case, I'll urge you to employ the processes, decide, commit, and you'll be able to succeed in anything that you've actually decided. For a salesperson, if you can perceive it, then you can achieve it. The universe has an interesting way of answering to your call. Every day when you wake up and you pray to God and ask God to give you your daily bread is out there. But you have to put yourself out there into a vacuum of opportunity to be able to get that sales done. The number of sales and the number of prospects that you get in a particular week, in a particular day, it counts, because your funnel and your pipeline will determine how much numbers of sales you'll be able to make. The bigger the volume that you pull from, the greater the number of sales that you'll have. Sales is a game of numbers, and numbers don't lie. When you push in terms of leads prospect, then you'll be able to convert the most. Stay tuned. Please subscribe and like and share some comments on the Dropbox section, and let's engage together. Remember to always commit, decide, and you'll succeed in everything that you do. Always decide, commit, and you'll always succeed. Thank you for watching this interactive session on how to motivate our post-pandemic sales team, and stay tuned. Please subscribe to my channel. Tell a friend to subscribe and subscribe and subscribe. Remain blessed always. I love you as always. Cheers.